just might keep on swimming for miles. It's like nothing ever changed. But I know we ain't the same. I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder if you're with somebody new. I wonder how you're doing. It's a feeling that I can't get used to. I'm outside looking for a reason. Under blue skies, my head's stuck in the clouds. I wanna know if you still feel it. I wanna know if I'm just another face in the crowd. It's like nothing ever changed. But I know we ain't the same. I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder if you're with somebody new. I wonder how you're doing. It's a feeling that I can't get used to. And I've been singing, trying to get my head on straight. And I wonder what you're doing. It's a feeling that I can't get used to. I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder if you're with somebody new. I wonder how you're doing. It's a feeling that I can't get used to. And I've been singing, trying to get my head on straight. And I wonder what you're doing. It's a feeling that I can't get used to.
Hello, this is George W. Bush. You are now listening to The Josiah Show.
Oh, Josiah!
The Josiah Show.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Goofs and gaffs.
I think by
And I'll just come over when you guys like spice things up with like a three-way.
Okay, this is
Anyway, moving on. All right, moving on.
moving on.
Intellectual discussions.
So which one will it be?
These are all great qualities I look for in a minion.
And I like to think all the minions have all these qualities to various degrees.
Yeah, but some are just a little bit more pronounced.
Yeah. Some of them it's a bit more obvious.
Interviews.
I am the president of the WSU Furry Club.
All right here on 95.1 Cougars. The Josiah Show.
He's a silly man. I wouldn't have him running a cat house.
All right, welcome back to the Josiah Show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Josiah Pike. Welcome back. We missed you all for a whole week. It's been since the last time we were on the air. Well, it feels like a week in like 2 days, so grant me some pardoning here that it feels like a long time, but we're back now. Or I'm back, I should say. It's actually just me this week. Jack and Mikey were not able to come to this episode. Mikey broke up with me, so he's been banned from the studio. No, actually, they're just busy this week. They're not able to come this time. They're just not this week, but next week, possibly someone will be here next week. But that's okay. We'll have fun. We'll have some fun on our own today. Just me and you, the listening audience out there. How are you all doing? It's kind of a throwback today to not only the first episode we did of this new era of the show, I guess back in September, where it was just me, but if you remember, if you were listening for this long, which nobody was, back last year when I did this show, it was just me. it was just me by myself and playing music more than anything is what we did, which we do a lot of right now. We play a lot of music, so I guess it's not a big deal that we're back to this format for this one episode. But how are you all been doing? I hope you've been having a fantastic week, a very sunny week this week. It's nice to see that. It's been so cold. I mean, it is pretty cold anyway, but it's been raining and damp and all that for so long. It's nice for it to be a little bit brighter out, even if it's not very warm still at the moment. That's just kind of how it is. But whatever. Hope you've been having a great week anyway. And we do have a great show today. The thing is, usually, if you remember the first episode that we did of this school year back in September, when it was just me, or no, it was September. I didn't know if it was September or October for a second. But anyway, back in September, we kind of go through the segments more quickly when there's no one else here, which, I mean, I do prefer people being here, not just being me, but we'll get through probably a lot of segments today. But we have some good things that we're going to be getting through today. We're getting into the investigation into the midget scam, where someone pretended to be a little person from Ukraine pretended to be a child, and got adopted by an American family, or supposedly, because this is all alleged. We're gonna get to it's an absolutely crazy story. We're gonna get to today. We're also gonna be playing some new AI songs, and just some general discussion about things going on. I was thinking, because I was planning the show for today, I was wondering, since usually I find out just shortly before, since it really doesn't make that much of a difference what I'm gonna do if there's people here or not. I was thinking I had some other plans for if other people were here, but since there won't be, it'll just be us. I thought of some new segments we're gonna do, just things we're gonna talk about. So it should be a fun show today. But anyway, moving on from that, just getting into the first few segments I wanted to talk about. I was gonna introduce this. I talked a little bit about this soundboard I have. It's this great gizmo that I got that plays sounds, as if the name didn't already imply that. It plays some sounds that are here on the computer that I have saved. I just click of the mouse, and we get the sounds. It's great. So I want to play the sounds I got, because I put some new ones. I added a few new ones. I think we got a full radio soundboard here. I don't know. I think it looks pretty. I designed it. It looks great because I designed each of the little sound cues to be a different color, so it's like a rainbow going by. I mean, you can't see it, obviously, but if only you could see it now, it would bring a tear to your eye. It's so beautiful. But I'll play a few of the sounds we have. So we have the intro, obviously. This is the first one.
Hello, this is George Bush. You are now listening to...
Yeah, you just heard that. Okay, we'll stop. But that was the intro to the show, of course, we have here. We have also, since Jack's not here, there's not going to be a new installment, but the Conspira 3 game intro is here.
We're facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's the beginning of the intro. Last week, I totally screwed it up because I accidentally started playing, and the sound was not... The soundboard was muted, so you didn't actually get to hear the beginning, which is a bit sad because it's such a beautiful intro. But you didn't get to hear the beginning of Ronzo Reagan with his, well, if there was an alien threat. But now you just heard it, so that makes up for it. We also got this. This is one of my favorite ones. This new sound effect for when we do play the Conspira 3 game next. We're going to play this after it's revealed that we probably got close to 0 right. That's a good one, yeah. The Price is Right losing horn. Or there's the losing horn, because who just knows it from the Price is Right, We also have this new sound here. This isn't actually a new one. This is the applause. All right, stop! All right, there we go. That's done. This is a new one that's pretty good. This is when I would say something funny we're going to play.
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Yep, that's basically most of what that's going to be my... For jokes today, I'm going to have that on standby for when I say something that just needs to be pointed out how funny it was. And for context, that's Blaze the Movie Fan, a YouTuber who you might be aware of, has about 20,000 subscribers. And let me just say something not to get sidetracked. I talked last week very vaguely, but I think I have a guest I'd like to bring on this next episode who I think will agree. And it was Blaze, actually. And I won't go into all the details about it, but I actually wasn't able to get in contact with him. He declined. He preferred not to do the interview, which is fair. But, it was a little bit disappointing, but he has the right to do whatever he wants. But we're still fans of Blaze on this channel. We'll probably watch some of his videos and kind of react to them on the show at some point. But he was saying this about an irate gamer video that he was watching. That was what was funny and clever. So, let's hear that again.
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Yep. And if you were listening to this broadcast for about maybe 20 minutes before I got on, you might have heard a phantom that was funny and clever just kind of creep in there. Yeah, that was from me. I wanted to test if you could hear that on the air, and it was a little Easter egg for you, so I played that very briefly. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. This next one, I think the rest of these actually I've already played, but I'll play them again. Here's the boo. Yeah, that's next time we have a guest that we're not so fond of, we'll play that when they walk in. Here's the drum roll sound effect. Yep. This is for other times I say something funny. Yep. Let's play two of these together real quick.
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Okay, I guess because the laughing one's longer, we got to play that first, but let's try that again.
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Well, that synced up pretty good. I didn't even mean to do it that well, but all right. And, of course, this is the background music we got. All right, there you go. That's from Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, by the way, if you've ever seen that game. It's not good. But, yeah, it's just some really good background music that we're going to have. I don't know, sometimes when I'm just droning on and we need something to break it up. Because there's no one else here to talk, we just got this playing here. I don't exactly know the context of when we would need this specific music, but yeah, there it is in case we ever do. But yeah, I mean, I really I hope you enjoy hearing this going on. Come along, sing everybody, sing. All right, stop. Okay, yeah, that's the end of that. I don't know. It gets old after a while. I don't want to. If I keep playing it for that long, it's going to sound like we're actually in an elevator, you know?
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Thank you, Blaze. But anyway, moving on from that. Now, that's our new soundboard. I don't know how often I'm going to utilize it. I hype it up here as if it's going to completely change the nature of the show, but I don't know. I can see myself using it maybe 3 times an episode. So basically what that means is it was a complete waste of time and money because I had to spend money on this like I went over last episode. Yeah, I know. I'm a real loser here. We're having a lot of fun with it already, aren't we? Now, anyway, that's the new soundboard. I think I need one more sound effect. I need that a rim shot sound. That could be really make things just great, you know, on the soundboard. But we'll get to that. And speaking of making things great, that kind of transitions into the next topic. This is our first show since Donald Trump retook his throne as president. Yeah, I mean, can you believe it? It feels like the election was, God, months ago at this point. Well, it was, but, you know, longer months ago, I guess, if that makes sense.
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
Yep. And so I was kind of surprised he wasn't president already. I mean, it feels like he's been president for a while at this point, but no. He's been president now 3 days. He retook office. I didn't really watch the inauguration, especially because it was at 9 a.m. in Western time is when he took off, or Pacific time is when he took office again. And it's like, look, on a weekend or on a day off, I ain't getting up at 9 a.m. for nothing, all right? Like, I'll get up at 11 a.m. at probably 10:30 at the earliest, all right? I ain't getting up at 9 a.m. Not that I really would have watched it anyway. It's not even for political reasons. It's just I have better things to do than watch that crap. And another thing thinking about it, it was probably the first presidential inauguration I wasn't alive to. I mean, I was alive for that I didn't watch live in a long time because 2021, when Biden got in, I remember I watched it because I was up at 9 a.m., so I figured I had nothing else to do, so I watched, because it was a school day, so I had it kind of, well, I guess I didn't watch it, but I just had it on the background since it's a historic moment, or I used to care more about that back then, about, you know, this is a piece of history, we got to watch this, because it's like, yeah, it technically is, but who really cares? It's like a new president comes in every 4 years, it's not that historical anymore, but I did watch Biden's, Trump's I watched the first one when I was in 8th grade, I think, kind of, well, actually, we didn't really watch it, the actual swearing in, because we were in history class. And the history teacher, I remember he was a pretty funny guy. He instead wanted to just he looked up who's the president of the United States, and he kept refreshing the page until Trump showed up because he just wanted to be, that was important to him to be there at the moment where it refreshed it when you look it up Trump. And it was funny because in those few minutes before Trump got in at like 8:56, 8:57, it was like fluctuating a lot to where at one point it was, I always remember it was funny. It said, when you look up who's the president, I don't know who was doing this, but it said George Bush, and it showed a picture of like Ronald Reagan or something. So I don't know how they screwed up that bad, but whatever. I guess Ronald Bush came back to office. That's pretty cool, you know. So good on him. Maybe he'd be a better president, you know?
I must admit, that was funny and clever.
But anyway, besides just that, we did eventually watch some of his speech, although most people in my class, because they were very, against Trump, did not want to watch it. I didn't really care one way or the other because, I was 14 or so and I didn't care about politics then. So I didn't care if we watched it or not. And then Obama's second one was 2013. Now we're getting back to when I probably watched it because it was a school day again. It was on a Sunday, but I guess the rules with presidential inaugurations is if it's on a Sunday, they do a private swearing in, and then the next day they do the official one. I guess because we're a Christian nation or whatever, so Sunday is a day of no work. So I didn't watch his official inauguration, but his ceremonial one, I guess I didn't watch it, but I was probably awake when it happened. And then his first inauguration, I probably was as well, but this is like going back so far that I don't remember what I was doing then. I would have been, I think, in kindergarten when Obama was sworn in the first time, and it was on a school day, and I'm sure that we didn't watch that because no one understood what was happening. I mean, I remember by the time of the election, that was the first election I was kind of following in terms of I knew who the candidates were and all that, but I thought it was weird because I remember thinking, I knew who Barack Obama was, I knew who John McCain was, but I thought they were just like both already president, and we were voting for which one's going to stay president, like Survivor or something, or American Idol, but yeah, so I didn't really take any stock. After he won, I didn't take any stock in the fact that he had to be sworn in still. And then we go back further. I was alive for the one before that, but I was 2 years old, so I obviously didn't watch it. But yeah, so that's my history with these inaugurations. So yeah, this is the first one in 20 years I was not awake for. Or no, it's the first one ever I wasn't awake for, I guess, because I was probably awake for the George Bush's second inauguration, but just didn't watch it. So yeah, I guess it's the first one. I mean, but again, well, not that I would have watched it if it was on, if I was awake, but maybe if he got sworn in on at a better time, like at 5:30 when I'm awake, maybe I would have watched it. But yeah, so not that there was that much notable about it. I thought it was a bit weird how he went to a stadium to sign a bunch of executive orders after that, something like 36. That seems a bit. I don't know why you got to do that in a stadium or whatever. I mean, you think that you're president now, bro, and you're never gonna get to run again. You've won twice, okay? You don't. The campaign's over. Go to the White House and work. Although I was a bit surprised, I didn't expect a proper Sig Heil within the first day of the Trump administration. I didn't expect that, but Elon Musk proved me wrong there. And yeah, okay, I know. Okay, it was not. I'm sure everyone says he was not heiling Hitler. He was not actually doing it. He was throwing his heart out or whatever. You really think he would do a Nazi salute in front of a crowd like that? And my response is, yeah, Elon Musk, I know he did not literally try to show allegiance to Hitler in a crowd like that and expect nothing would happen. I know that was not what he was actually doing, but the fact that he would do that gesture at all. First of all, I don't buy that he was throwing his heart out to those people because he kind of put his fist on his chest and flung out his hand like that with his palm facing down. Not really how you throw something. But yeah, do I think he was genuinely trying to Heil Hitler? Okay, no, obviously he was not doing that. But was he doing a very questionable type of salute, considering the political environment, the accusations against him and Trump? I would say, yes, that is what he was doing. So that was not good. I mean, I don't know. Again, it was clearly not actually supposed to be a Sig Heil, but everyone's going to call it that anyway because it's just funny to say that, including myself. So I'm sorry, Elon, but you kind of got screwed over on day one. And oh yeah, the other popular meme that I saw of the election, this is probably the most memed inauguration I've seen in recent history, even more than Trump's first inauguration, just because of all the jokes that have come out of it, is Melania's outfit. A lot of people making jokes about that, how she was pulling off the spy versus spy look, is how I call it. I used that. I didn't come up with that. I saw it somewhere. I brought it up to I was using that term, and I think they didn't know what I was talking about right away. And I realized, man, I am not. I feel old now. I mean, no one cares about. No one knows Mad Magazine anymore. I mean, if you want kind of proof of that, this is a bit of a sidetrack, but if you remember back in 2020 when there was that guy Pete Buttigieg who was running for president, and Trump called him Alfred E. Newman, that was his big roast against him. Pete said, "Oh, I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm not 60 years old." And yeah, Pete's like he's like in his 40s, so he's old to me. He's not really that old, especially by political standards, but he's old to me, and he doesn't know what Mad Magazine is, but I know what it is. Damn. I really do feel old. That's crazy. Well, anyway, Matt, that's the look Melania was rocking. The Hamburglar was the other one I saw people point out. That one's pretty funny, but I don't know. Spy versus spy kind of just hits harder in my opinion. But Yeah, and of course there are people saying, don't make fun of her look, don't make fun of her look, that's so mean. First of all, I'm not making fun of her physical look. I'm just making fun of the outfit she was wearing. And then, hey, the way I see it, if your side wins politically, you should be very resistant to jokes about them, okay? And you were on the winning side, okay? You can take some jokes about your side for as long as your side's in power. I mean, especially when, the last 4 years, oh yeah, you guys were really holding back with the jokes about Biden and his family and all that. You guys were showing a lot of maturity there. You're not saying anything about him or his family or his son or anything like that. So, okay, now just, I don't know, it just annoys me. I don't even care about the political angle. I just hate the hypocrisy around it where you spend the last 4 years saying Biden has dementia and is senile and he's a complete idiot and his son is a coked up hooker screwing moron who's should be thrown in jail. You say all that and make all the jokes you want about it, and then when Trump gets in, the jokes are all off. We can't say anything. No, come on, shut up. Okay? If Kamala was getting sworn in right now, the jokes would be flying about whatever she was wearing or whatever her husband was wearing, which would be fair, because she won. It would be fair enough to do that kind of thing. So don't pull the whole, when your side gets in, we're done with the jokes, all right? No, we're not doing that. But anyway, congratulations to Trump and Elon, the first lady, and Trump's legal wife, the second lady, I guess. And hope they can accomplish their mission of making America great again, and I hope it doesn't involve invading Poland in the process. So good luck to them. Good luck to them. And before he tries to pull this show off the air, because he's the one listener, the one person listening, I just want to say I completely swear allegiance to the president right now. I would never say anything bad about it. Though it was all goofs. It was all jokes. Okay, I'm done. I love you, Mr. President. Please don't hurt me. Now, moving on from the inauguration, because there wasn't really that much more to say about it. I hinted at I had some more AI songs to play, and I do. And the thing is, I didn't know if I was going to play them at first, but because we're a bit, since it's just me, and since we burn through segments quicker when it's just me, I figured it would be a good idea to play them, and just play some of the songs I've been cooking up in the factory. Since I didn't really think I would at first, but we will. So I made about 5 or so new songs, and the funny thing is I think all of them, with an exception maybe, are I wrote the lyrics to, or I put in my own lyrics. Instead of just typing a prompt, we put in original lyrics. Or by original, I mean original to the program, not always original like they're not quoted from somewhere. But this first one I made, it was kind of inspired by both the To Steal or Not to Steal opera song I did, as well as the To Skibbity or Not song, if you know that. It's a pretty popular meme. I like it a lot. I've listened to it. And the thing that kind of scares me about AI, AI is getting to the point where it's unironically good. I mean, it's so easy to tell it's AI in most circumstances, but it's still unironically good. And that's what's kind of freaking me out about it. But I did want to play a new song I made that was kind of inspired, a new opera song, which is one of my favorite genres on here. And this one is just kind of similar to Skibbity or Not, with funny meme words, but it's a bunch of words that are kind of from the show or somewhat adjacent to the show. And this one is called Cringe Opera. Not the most creative name, but I don't know, I like it. So take a listen. Maybe you'll enjoy this one.
Fortnite cringe butthole. Oh yeah, baby. Christian furry sex. Skibbity chungus Adderall. Steal that Adderall. Poopy butthole Fortnite. Ronald Reagan ball sack. Balls in your jaw. Stealing junk Skibbity Adderall. Trainable sexy sex time. No shame, no shame. Take a crap in the sink to clean the frame. Stop homosexual. Kingston butt mix master. George Double Bushy Duck's little secret. My little score. Skibbity toilet and hawk to walk to you.
That was a masterpiece right there. Some of these songs, it's hard to even know what to say after you hear them. They're just so beautiful. But that one is one that I could see be played in Carnegie Hall personally. I mean, I don't see why not. It's on that level. But yeah, that's Cringe Opera. But I don't know, that one is one where I feel like I'm going to hell for having made it. But, well, I've made far worse. I guess I'll just put it that way. Now, this is one of the ones where I stole the lyrics from somewhere else. This is from the famous meme song, We Bring the Boom. It's kind of a dead meme at this point, but when I made this song, again, this is why I said didn't know if I was going to do this segment first. When I made this song, it was still somewhat of a relevant meme. Except for I wanted to do an opera version of that, but I don't know what the AI program did. But it kind of took, it's not really an opera song, it's just kind of a different type of rap song, which I guess is what the genre was in the first place. It's pretty interesting. And for the record, opera is probably my favorite genre on here. I don't know what it is, but a good opera song is just, beautiful. The chef's kiss. You can't do any better than that. And so this one, and I kind of screwed up on this one. I don't really know how I did this. I just screwed up, but I accidentally copied the lyrics from Genius and accidentally put some lyrics from the side, or not even lyrics, some information on the website on the side. But I'm not even complaining because that is one of the hardest hitting parts of this song when it just starts reading information from Genius. So this is a new version of We Bring the Boom. Again, kind of a dead meme, but I don't know. I think I might have revived it. Take a listen.
We bring the boom, that's what we do. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and blue. We bring the boom, you gotta meet our crew.
You know me as the Rizzler, I'm the Panther dressed in black. Once I give your girl the Riz face, there's no chance she's coming back. I hang with AJ and Big Justice, bring the boom, you know it's on. We're like the 3 evolutions of Pokemon. I'm Cousin Angelo, I bring the boom as you can tell. With salami, provolone, and mozzarella. Jersey Joe is here, get on your feet and crank the volume, cause it's all about the family and it's all about the boom.
We bring the boom, that's what we do. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and blue. We bring the boom, you gotta meet our crew.
See upcoming rap shows, get tickets for your favorite artists. You might also like We Bring the Boom. AJ and Big Justice, Noy, Tyler, the Creator, Family Remix. AJ and Big Justice. I'm the father of the Rizzler, call me Uncle Sevester. I bring the boom with meatballs, lamb, braciolo, and pasta. We're climbing up the ladder, always having the good time. And when the sun goes down, we'll be saving you from crime. I'm Lulu, and I got a gold Italian heart. I've been bringing the boom since the day I was born, with Big Justice as my grandson, and AJ's my son. When we bring the boom is second to none.
We bring the boom, that's what we do. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and blue. We bring the boom, you gotta meet our crew. We bring the boom, that's what we do. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and blue. We bring the boom, you gotta meet our crew.
If you don't think that was a beautiful song, I don't even know what to tell you. That song is straight up one of the hardest songs I've heard in my life. I don't even know how to describe it. We bring the boom. I mean, and by the way, AJ, Big Justice, the Rizzler, if you'd like to hit me up with some of that cameo money that you're making hand over fist for bringing your song back to the limelight, I will be most obliged. Now, please make with the cash, and I would like it in hundreds, please. I will say that was also a dedication. If I'm going to do this like it's a hacky disc jockey show, that was a dedication to Mikey Williams, because he's a big fan of the Costco guys, at least in terms of he's requested we play. If you remember back in the cameo segment, he requested we get the Rizzler and as a cameo from him. Unfortunately, I can't afford the Rizzler's astronomical fee. I'm not making enough money where $150 comes cheap to me. But I will say that I don't know, like maybe if he doesn't want to pay me, maybe he can send me a free cameo just as a sort of gesture of goodwill. I would appreciate it. Or if he would just like to offer me his protection with his mob syndicate, I would be most appreciative. Now, anyway, the next song we're going to be playing here, coming in at number 3 on this week's Top 10. This is another adaptation of a song that already exists. If you're a big Chris Chan fan like I am, if you remember, well, okay, you don't remember from at the time because I was like 7, but he did a song, a really horrible rap song, good rap song, called iPods Down and Listen Up in 2009. I don't know where he got that title, but it's him just rapping about random crap. If you ever listen to it, and maybe we'll play it for a comparison, it has no flow, it's got no rhythm. And I say this as someone who appreciates Chris Chan. I shouldn't say that considering what he's done, but okay, I appreciate some aspects of Chris Chan considering I bought a comic book from him that he signed. But this is, I think he should thank me for making his song much better because I put it into Suno AI and turned it into gangsta rap, and it sounds amazing. You know, it goes on for a long time though, because I'm just gonna warn you, I might jump in during the instrumental portion because it goes on for so, like the actual song is like a minute and a half, and it goes on for like 2 minutes of instrumental. But being true to the art form here, I don't like to cut it off when it does that, so I guess I'll play the whole thing. But yeah, this is iPods Down. The other kind of disturbing thing about this is Chris does like a description of like a sex or whatever, which, you know, rap songs, no, not just rap songs, music in general has a lot of focus on romance and sex and all that. So I get that. But this like sex fantasy he describes here is kind of similar to rape, disturbingly so. I think Chris Chan, I don't know, man. I think Chris Chan might be, this is a fringe theory, but he might be a sexual pervert. But whatever, someone look that up, I guess. But this is iPods Down and Listen Up. And again, this new version goes far harder than the original.
Yo, what is up, homies and homes and home misses, dudettes and due dates? This ain't no update on the sonical thing. Still working on it, but listen up, up, listen up. Put down your iPods and listen up. I had a test that shows stock market had a rising hose. I tell you what now. Tell you what? A momentary pause to recollect. Momentary pause to recollect. I tell you what, ladies, I have a game. Let's play Jungle Fever. Jungle Fever. I'm the lot, I am the manly tiger. Manly tiger. You're the sleek, sexy panther. I pounce on you, you run away. I haven't missed, but I chase anyway. And we chase for a while. And then you wear out, and you take it like a gal. And then we pump, till we'll have our little tiger panther cubs. All 4, since it's Christmas time, let's make like I'm Mr. Yo, Mrs. Claus. I have a good old heat, cause I took a bit of Viagra. Bam, ba, bam, bang. Ho, ho, ho. Word. I have a confidence booster, and my confidence is at the max. So there, that's the word of the day. Still an update on the CW-Sapedia. Hey, word up, peace out. Peace out. Down your iPods and listen up. I had a test that shows stock market had a rising hose. I tell you what now. Tell you what. A momentary pause to recollect. Momentary pause to recollect. I tell you what, ladies, I have a game. Let's play Jungle Fever. Jungle Fever. I'm the lot, I am the manly tiger. Manly tiger. You're the sleek, sexy panther. I pounce on you, you run away. I haven't missed, but I chase anyway. And we chase for a while. And then you wear out, and you take it like a gal. And then we pump, till we'll have our little tiger panther cubs. All 4, since it's Christmas time, let's make like I'm Mr. Yo, Mrs. Claus. I have a good old heat, cause I took a bit of Viagra. A bam, ba, bam, bam. Word, I have a confidence booster, and my confidence is at the max. So there, that's the word of the day. Still an update on the CW-Sapedia. Hey, word up, peace out.
Yeah, I guess I think I want to take back what I said about that end bit going on too long. I mean, not listening to it again, that really enhances the song. I don't know. It's a beautiful song, really. I mean, it's just incredible. It's probably one of the hardest. Like, that's something I'd see Tupac if he was still alive making, and that's a beautiful song. iPods down and listen up. I mean, again, the lyrics when you really look into them are extremely disturbing, and I think that Chris Chan should go to a psychiatrist if that's seriously what he fantasizes about. But although I guess we kind of ignore the second bit because he talks about, first of all, this is a bit out of date because he talks about being Santa Claus. But then also, I don't know why you're bragging about taking Viagra, but okay. Although I do know he once clarified, I saw on the Quickie, which is, the great website for information on Chris Chan, that he was forced to clarify in one of the mailbags saying, well, I did not say I was taking Viagra. I just said that in this scenario, Santa would be. So, I mean, I guess I'm glad he clarified that one. But, yeah, so that was the one that really needed clarification of what you were thinking. But whatever, good job, Chris. That was a great song. Of course, I'm the one who made it better. Okay, the AI is the one that made it better. But whatever, I guess I give Chris the credit for the original lyrical genius. And when you see that, you realize why he just does parodies, quote-unquote, of other people's songs all the time. The original songs he comes up with are just horrifying. Speaking of Chris Chan, we got another Chris Chan-related song here. This is more of freeform poetry, I'd say, than anything. This is a song based on his classic That's My House video, aka I'm working on it. It's pretty good, honestly. It's very dramatic, so if you're, faint of heart, you might not want to listen to it. But listen to this new song, I'm Working on It, which is about, of course, that infamous time his house was posted on, or he posted a house tour and had to take it all down because I guess he didn't consult with his parents. So listen now to I'm Working on It.
Does not even deserve a captain's log introduction because this is dead serious. The inside and outside tour I did a few months ago at my house. Everyone on the internet, my mother and my father are hangry at me. They're blaming it at me. It's my fault. I admit it. It's my fault. I want everything about my house off the internet. I'll send in detectives. I'll send in police. I'll send in everything in my power. Just get it off the internet. Listen to me, yes, listen to me, yes. Shut that goddamn thing off. I don't care what you do, you get all that stuff off of there tonight. I'm working on it. Go work on it. I am working. Do you realize something? Let me tell you, if the health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it. I see. You go get that goddamn stuff off of there and fast. I'm working on it. I was making a YouTube a video for YouTube to tell everybody, get the images off the internet. It's not. No, it's out of my control. No, you get them off. It's out of my control. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. You loaded them up there. You unload them. I'm working on it. Go do it. I am doing it. I'm starting. Get in here and do it. I'll be up all night with you if I have to. You won't get any sleep until that stuff's off. I'm working on it. Get in there and start. I'm working on it. Let me do that stupid video so I can tell everybody in my command to get everything off the internet. Listen, about our house. I don't want it kicked out of my house by the health department. And what you just did was stick a knife in our back. Kill us. All right. Let me just get that stuff off of there. I'm work. And get it off of there fast. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So yeah, please get everything off the internet. Now. Curse the trolls. Peace to everyone else.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? That was just wonderful. That was a beautiful song, straight from Chris Chan. I love that final, no! It took that, what originally in Chris Chan's video was him screaming, so yeah, please, get everything off the internet, no! Into something much better. I love this new version, and I guess this is the version I'm going to be listening to from now on whenever I want to just listen to that video for some reason. It's much more dramatic. You feel like what the characters are going through way more than the other song. Because it's not even a song, that one. It's just a video. But I personally really enjoyed it. I don't know what to say. Now, the next song we're going to be playing, just one more. This is the longest one. Clocking in at 4 minutes. And I'll tell you what, I like this song, but it did not have to be that long. This is a song where it's just kind of a funny incident. It's called How the Doug Stole Chipmus, and it's about... Well, first of all, I wanted to do a, quote, Dr. Seuss style beat. Unfortunately, that was not possible. But what we got instead was some, I guess, a very sad song, if you want to call it that. And it's a song just about some characters in our life. Doug was a popular character on the show, despite he's never been on. And Mikey's actually in this song. Because where it came from is me and Jack were goofing around on ChatGPT one day, making like fictional stories with all of our names and stuff. And we realized Mikey wasn't in. We forgot to include Mikey in any of them. So we wanted to do one of Doug, but also we thought we'd include Mikey. So that's why it's just Doug and Mikey for no reason. I mean, it's not really that accurate to how they act in real life. And this one isn't even really a song. It's more free-form poetry. So anyway, we got this from ChatGPT, and we thought this would make a great song. So we put the lyrics through in Suno AI, and we made a song out of it. Is it a great song? Okay, I'll put it this way. It probably not isn't a great song, but it's a great story. It's really touching, heartfelt. So this is How the Doug Stole Chipmus. Give it a chance. Don't let the title fool you. It's quite emotional. So listen to this one and try not to cry during it.
The small town of Northside where the winters were cold lived a man named Doug who was daring and bold. He was tall as a tree with a voice rich and deep, like Morgan Freeman's, just blacker you'd weep. But Doug had a secret, a habit quite slick. He'd sneak into the market, a thief who was quick. Chips, sodas, and candy, whatever he'd find, he'd tuck them away, leaving no trace behind. The clerks at the market were none the wiser, for Doug's stealthy skills were a great equalizer. He'd slip past the cameras in a shadow in flight and return to his room with his loot for the night. Now Doug had a roommate, a guy named Mikey, who wore mismatched socks and smelled slightly spiky. Mikey would watch as Doug came through the door, with chips spilling out of his jacket once more. Doug, Mikey said, this just isn't right. You're stealing those chips in the dead of the night. What if you're caught? What if you're jailed? This plan of yours, man, it's bound to be derailed. Doug sighed and sat down, his voice soft and low. Mikey, you don't understand. I've nowhere to go. No money, no job, no food on my plate. These chips are the only thing keeping me straight. Mikey frowned but said no more, as Doug munched his chips and stared at the floor. One frosty Chipmas Eve with snow in the air, the Northside market was bustling with care. Families were shopping for festive delights, filling their carts for the magical night. Doug watched from the shadows, his stomach a knot. The joy of the season was something he'd not. He crept through the aisles, his heart beating fast, grabbing what he could. This haul had to last. But as Doug reached for one final snack, he saw a small child with a bag on her back. She clutched a tiny bag of chips in her hand, her eyes wide with wonder, her smile unplanned. Doug froze in his tracks, his chest feeling tight. For the first time he questioned if this all was right. Doug left the market, his haul incomplete, the snow crunching softly beneath his feet. He gave the chips to the child he had seen and walked into the night where the air was serene. Back at the apartment, Mikey looked up as Doug set down an empty cup. No chips tonight, Mikey asked with surprise. Doug shook his head, tears in his eyes. I can't do it no more, Doug quietly said, as he lay on the couch and rested his head. The chips he had stolen, the food he had taken, were filling his belly but left his soul shaken. And so on that chipless, Doug made a vow to find a new path, though he wasn't sure how. For stealing had filled him with sorrow and shame, and he knew that his life could not stay the same. but said no more, as Doug munched his chips and stared at the floor. One frosty Christmas Eve with snow in the air, the north side market was bustling with care. Families were shopping for festive delights, filling their carts for the magical night. Doug watched from the shadows, his stomach a knot. The joy of the season was something he'd not. He crept through the aisles, his heart beating fast, grabbing what he could. This haul had to last.
Well, that was beautiful. I mean, I don't really know if it had to go on for 4 minutes, though, but it was a good song. Although I gotta say, well, first of all, I want to thank Adobe Creative Cloud for screwing me here, because it really had to go off. It really had to go off with a notification of, let me pull that up here. What was so important that you had to interrupt the song? You have 35 app updates available. Oh, great. It's not like I ever have used Adobe Creative Cloud on this computer in my life, but thank you a lot for that. Thank you for interrupting the song with the ding-ding-ding. That was real important. Thank you. But the song, if we're going to analyze it here, there are a few lyrics that don't make a lot of sense. I think it's a beautiful story, I guess. Because at the end, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because, okay, if we're going to pull an Anthony Fantano here and look at the lyrics all closely, Doug only stops when he sees a little girl try to buy some chips as well. And then he stops. That's when he realized it wasn't right. Okay, you think you would have thought of that before, but I guess not. I don't know. He wasn't really looking at the people all that closely when he was stealing them before. He was just grabbing what he could and leaving. So whatever. I guess it makes sense. I don't know, but that was a bit weird. I don't know. They could have illustrated whatever point they were trying to make, maybe just a bit better, but whatever. But besides just that, moving on a little bit, there are some lyrics that I feel like they were really pushing for a rhyme here. If I have to be honest, like for example, one frosty Christmas Eve with snow in the air, the north side market was bustling with care. What does that mean? It was bustling with care? Okay. Anyway, Doug watched from the shadows, his stomach a knot. The joy of the season was something he'd not. As in N-O-T, not. Like he'd not partaken in? Is that what it means? I mean, that's not really grammatical, but okay. And of course, there's also she clutched a tiny bag of chips in her hand. Her eyes wide with wonder, her smile unplanned. Well, yeah, I mean, who plans to smile at a specific time? Who says, I'm going to smile at 3:30 today? You know, who does that? So, that's not really surprising that it was unplanned. I don't think you need a whole lyric to point that fact out, but whatever. I guess the song thought it was necessary. And also, I like how they didn't, I guess because we said Dr. Seuss style beat. Well, first of all, I guess because we wrote it on ChatGPT, we said write it like a Dr. Seuss story. They decided they needed to describe Mikey, and they describe him as a guy who wore mismatched socks and smelled slightly spiky. Now, okay, I've lived with Mikey for a while, or in my life. I've known him for a long time. I don't think he ever wore mismatched socks, and I don't know. I never really get close enough to smell him, but I didn't notice him smelling spiky. So I think they were just pushing for a rhyme with Mikey, but whatever. I mean, Mikey said he'd be listening today, so if he is, then well. You tell me, do you wear mismatched socks? Come tell me sometime, all right? But whatever, I guess. Again, they needed a rhyme, so I guess I'll give them a pass. But whatever, it's still a bit weird. So some of these lines, I don't know, they're just not the best. I feel like they were just pushing for a rhyme. Like, good job overall, ChatGPT, I guess, because you took this prompt and did better with it than I could have, so whatever. I mean, and the majority of the songs here were very good, except for, I'll just be honest, I think Suno AI writes better songs than ChatGPT when you put it to them. Maybe that's to be expected because they're made for that, but that's just how I feel. So round of applause, I guess, for ChatGPT, because I'm just using any excuse I can to use my new sound effect machine here. Round of applause. Yeah, I mean, those are the songs I made. Actually, I did make a few more in time, but I'll get to those. Well, frankly, if I just feel like we're running out of stuff to do, then we'll get to those. But for now, those are all the songs we're going to play. We just spent a long time on this segment, about a half hour or so, longer than that even, so longer than I thought we would. But I don't know, I thought it was worth it. I thought those were some good songs we got to put out in the public. You know, who wouldn't like those songs? You know, that's how I feel, at least. But moving on now, we got some more stuff to get to. But before we get to the main segment of the show today, the dwarf girl deep dive, as I'll call it. That sounds not good. I won't call it that anymore. I did want to talk about something that was happening today to me, because I was going on a little bit about how everyone's week was. I'll tell you, my week was okay, but I feel like there were some things that could have been better. And first of all, since I'm in a lot of video type production classes for my major, I a lot of the times have to carry around a camera bag and a tripod that I'm renting from the equipment room, and for days on end or so, which isn't necessarily so bad. I mean, despite the fact that I have a lot of assignments where I have to use them. But what gets annoying is, I'm just saying, if anyone's listening to this who fits these descriptions, can you people shut up about it, okay? And I'll explain what I mean. Because, first of all, I'm kind of surprised. I feel I'm the only one who I ever see doing it. Because, I mean, and most of the classes I'm in are broadcast-related classes, and I barely see anyone else ever do this. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I'm unique in this regard. But, I don't know, I would have thought more people would carry those bags around. But no, it's always just me. It's always just me. But, whatever, that's life, I guess. And what gets annoying is when people act all weird about it. So, for example, for an assignment I had to shoot some footage of just stuff around campus and edit it into just a video. It didn't have anything specific or tell a narrative or whatever, but I was getting some shots. So I was carrying the stuff around. The easiest way to carry it around is because the camera bag is kind of like a backpack, shaped like a backpack. I wear my actual backpack on my back, the camera backpack on the like a reverse backpack, and then I put the tripod, like I balance it there. You might think the tripod would be easiest to carry, but I don't know, it's kind of heavy. It gets tiring to carry after a while, and you always have to switch hands after every 5 minutes or so, and it gets annoying. It honestly feels a lot lighter when you just put it on the backpack and just hold it like that, which is kind of a weird way to do it, I guess, but that's how I do it. So anyway, but this particular assignment, I just had that stuff with me. I didn't need it necessarily for that yet. I had that for another assignment. I decided, and you could just film this stuff on your phone, the other stuff around. So what I did was I took out my phone and filmed. It was at night. I just thought I'd film the clock tower because it looked kind of cool. You know, it had the red LED around it by then because it was nighttime. They were lighting things up. You know, I don't know. I thought it would be a good thing to film. And I don't know what it was, but a crowd of the most annoying students I've seen in a long time were exiting the Cub for some reason, or around that area and walking by. And all of them thought it was a hilarious, ha-ha joke to start going all, oh, hey, yelling when I'm filming. I didn't need the sound. The sound didn't matter, but trying to screw up the shot as a joke and being all weird. And then people, of course, make their whole comment of like, oh, are you filming me? Or like, think I'm filming them. And they're like, they whisper talk, and I think I can't hear them, but I definitely can. Saying, oh, are you filming me? Why are you filming me? For some reason, just because I have all that stuff out, and because I have my camera out, or my phone out, filming the clock. And of course, everyone makes it's a huge joke of just laugh and interrupt the shot and all that. Yeah, I know, it's real funny. Yeah, I know, it's a big joke to you people, but I don't know, it's not to me. It just gets really annoying if I have to be honest here. So stop it, okay? And let me say on the side note when I'm talking about in general for maybe not all broadcast students agree with this philosophy, but I'm gonna speak for them because I think most of them want to say this but don't. When we're filming something in public and people walk by or when they get in the shot, that's what really gets me. When they get in the shot, they don't mind their own business and bother me and get in the shot. And then of course they have to look at the camera, like cover their face, be all noticeable, interrupt the shot, say, I don't want to be filmed. I don't want to be filmed. Let me tell you something, okay? No one cares about you, all right? You're not important. And frankly, it should be my constitutional right to film you and follow you around all day as long as I'm not going into your private property. Because look, first of all, 90% of the time, this isn't even going to be publicly seen by anyone besides the professor. So interrupting the shot and being how you don't want to be on camera is not helping anything. It doesn't make a difference. And saying all that and then acting, you're invading my privacy. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be my face seen anywhere. Even if I should be able to film it and put it on the freaking the Jumbotron in Times Square, all right? Because let me tell you something, all right? Just because someone sees your face, it does not mean your identity has been stolen. It doesn't mean they're going to get your credit card numbers. It does not mean they're going to break into your house, okay? No one cares about you, all right? No one would even be looking at you in the shot if you weren't making a scene or looking at the camera being all annoying or being an ass, all right? So stop that, all right? That's my message to the people. Stop that. But I know I'm going a little bit off the rails here, but it really gets... It's annoying after a while, you people, all right? Can you just stop? Stop, all right? I understand not wanting to be filmed, but ruining the shot when I was not focusing on you at all, and I'm just trying to film something in the public, whether it be B-roll or an interview with someone or whatever, that's not of you, but you get into the shot. It's your own fault, personally, I believe. When that's happening, there's no reason, there's no need to be like that about it. All right, you do not need to be ruining my shot again by going on about how I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be on camera. Okay, nobody cares. All right, nobody cares. I'm sorry, but that's been on the back of my mind for a long time, and I need to finally let that out. But anyway, I wanted to also talk about, this is another story kind of related to that happened today that I felt I needed to talk about, where it was when I was coming out of the greatest class on campus, human sexuality. Now, let me tell you right now, okay, I am not in that class because I'm a pervert. Well, okay, maybe I have something wrong with me, I don't know. But that's not why I'm in the class, all right? I took human sexuality, it's like Psychology 240 or something, and I took that class just simply because I looked up, I was done with my, I had taken all the broadcast classes I needed in my schedule. I just needed an elective or some sort of class to take on the side just to fill generic credits. Yeah, Psychology 230, I checked, not 240, 230. And I just looked up fun elective or like fun classes to do on the side or something. And that was one of them. So I took it and I was like, hey, I know about sexuality, kinda. I can do this class. And let me tell you, I don't have a problem with the class so far. It's been fine. I mean, a lot of it's been going over stuff I kind of already know, but I don't know if it's because maybe it's just because I'm a genius. But no, it's a fine class, there's nothing wrong with it. But I will say, as a side note about that, we were talking about today in the class, they got to sexual organs now, as in, penises and vaginas. And I was kind of expecting when the female anatomy came up, there would be those guys who are going to start being all funny and be like cheering and be like, yeah, whoa, 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 all that. And no one did that. And I was thinking for a second, should I be the one? But the thing is, if I do it, it's not funny. It's just stupid. If I do it, it makes me look even more of a creep. But at the same time, but no one did. So I was thinking, when the male sexual organs come up, are people going to cheer and be all, men represent here? But no one did that. Which I guess, again, if they didn't do it for the women, they shouldn't do it for the men either. But I will say something that, and again, I'm not trying to be too judgmental to people or harsh or whatever, but I notice there are still a lot of people who either laugh or look like or act all shocked when diagrams of penises and vaginas and sexual things are put on screen. Okay, are we like 5 years old or 10 years old? Okay, let me just tell you. Okay, we've all seen this stuff before. Well, maybe not all of us in person. Maybe not all of us have seen it. I'm hoping maybe to see one. Maybe by the time I reach 30, to see a vagina. But until that, no. The thing is, we all know what it looks like, at least. Okay, we all know what it looks like. We've seen them before. Stop being shocked. Okay. Hell, when I was in 9th grade, I had to take a sexuality class. I took a health class where they were showing us freaking pictures of like penises and vaginas with gonorrhea. All right, like if you can look, we looked at that then in high school. Hell, when you're like 15 or 14, you're still basically a child as far as I'm concerned. You're in high school now, but you're basically still, you believed in Santa probably a few years ago, okay? If we were seeing that then and not freaking out, well, okay, we were freaking out. But if we were seeing it then you should be, seeing a diagram of a penis should not cause you to be like, all weird about it. Okay, at least that's how I feel. I don't know, maybe I'm just too mature for my age, I don't know, but that's how I feel at least. So, okay, calm down, all right? It's not that shocking anymore. It's not horrifying. Just look at it. And if you've ever seen one before, well, you've seen one now. So stop freaking out. It irritates me. I don't know when people do that all the time. So would you stop it? All right, just stop it. Anyway, I bring this up because I was leaving that class where I was learning so much about that, men have this thing called a penis. It's really shocking. I learned that today. When I was leaving the class, I was going through the door, and I had, of course, my setup where I have my backpack on my back, my camera bag at the front, and the tripod on top of the camera bag. I was going through that, and then I was walking, and someone was kind of holding the door. But the thing is, there were two people. Someone walked out and held the door for someone in front of me, and I was kind of a while behind them. And when I was kind of getting up to the door, someone else was trying to go in or go through the door, and we both kind of stopped. And then, of course, this lady looks all annoyed at me, and she says something like, just go. You have eyes here, don't you? Just go. And it's like, okay, listen, lady, all right? There's no reason to be an ass about this, okay? It's hard. It's like, I don't know what, I'm trying to carry this thing through. Apparently no one else ever has to deal with this. So I'm just trying to get through here. You don't need to be a dick about it, all right? Just let me go through. Like, I don't know if you're upset because you just learned about those organs that you've never seen a penis before, and you're all upset about it. But just let me live my life here, okay? Don't you don't need to be rude about it, all right? Like holding the door does not mean you're Jesus Christ to where you get to tell me how to live my life, all right? So I don't know. That is really annoying. It seems like whenever I'm walking around with those things, people just have less patience with me. Because, normally people are super accommodating to everything I ever need from them, and there's never any complaints or anything like that. But I don't know. With that, it seems like there's less. It's just, no one wants to deal with it. And it kind of annoys me that I only ever see myself with them. No one ever has to deal with this besides me, I guess, even in the communication department. Okay. Well, that's how it is, I guess. And it gets a bit annoying sometimes when I have to deal with stuff like that, but whatever, we keep going through, I guess, and I have a million more assignments I'm going to do with the camera and it gets annoying, although this is more also my fault, because I wear a leather jacket most of the time, and I don't know if it's real leather or not. I got it for like $50, so to be fair, is that cheap or expensive for leather? I don't really know. But anyway, whatever it is, it gets hot sometimes, and when you're carrying around a bunch of, 20, 30 pounds or whatever, I don't know how much it is altogether, and you're wearing that, and you're walking back and forth all the time between classes, you got the ass sweat going. It's just really annoying to have to deal with. Maybe I said one thing that was too much information, but I don't care. So, all I'm saying is, to anyone listening, if they see me with all that stuff, my specific request is this. Please treat me with special treatment from everyone else and be extra nice to me. That's all I'm saying, all right? Is that too much to ask? I don't know. I don't think it is, but if you people think it is, well, then you listen to my show, so you kind of owe me here. Well, anyway, we're about halfway through the program now. It's just past 6:02. This is the Josiah Show. I'm going to tell you at the top of the hour what time it is today, because, again, we're pulling like a hacky disc jockey show today. This is just the Josiah Show. My name's Josiah Pike. Currently, we played some AI music earlier, and we were just doing some general discussion. And we're going to move on now to a very funny bit. We got about 50 or so minutes left in the show. And a very interesting bit. And this is finally, I've hyped it up enough. This is finally the highly anticipated dwarf scam, little person scam that the whole world is captivated in. So I'm pretty late to this whole thing. It's pretty crazy. It's about this woman named, I think there's no doubt she's a woman now, Natalia Grace, who, part of the story, there are a few things that are funny about this story, which is people don't know, first of all, the true story here, really, and second of all, it's extremely confusing, and that people can barely figure out what even is supposed to have happened here. So, from people, like I said, don't understand, from the parents of this, or the adopted parents of this girl, are claiming that when they adopted her, she was a dwarf. Well, okay, she's always been a dwarf, but that she was an adult dwarf posing as a child to get adopted by American parents as like a big scam. She's claiming she was not, and she was a child. And usually, I watched about 5 videos on this, and I still can't make head or tail out of it. So I'm gonna play some of these, kind of commentate over them, and I don't know, we'll see. So the first time the story broke, and it's kind of been relevant again somewhat recently, and I'll explain why, is about 5 years ago in 2020 or late 2019, where Inside Edition posted a story that was about if a Florida couple adopted a grown woman, is what they said. So let's listen in. I'll pause when necessary, kind of like one of the commentary videos we do on the show, except I'm alone, and you decide what you think here.
Now a story making headlines around the world. Is this child a child or a grown woman? A Florida couple say they were duped into adopting her from Ukraine. They claim they were told she was only 6 years old, but then...
Well, I mean, if we're going to start off here, obviously you can't see, but they have a photo of her. I mean, first of all, she looks literally exactly like a child. I would have no problem believing that's a child if I was just told that she was and there was no doubt planted in my mind. And the crazy thing is, in some photos she looks like a woman, in some photos she looks like a little girl. So I don't know, it's hard to explain, but we'll get into that. So that's kind of the first very striking thing about this whole story.
Then they say red flags started to pop up, leading them to believe that she was much older. On top of that, the child's adoptive father tells our Stephen Fabian she threatened to kill his family.
This just took a turn. That just took a turn.
Of a child or a woman posing as a child. Her name is Natalia, and in 2010, she was adopted by Michael and Christine Barnett. They were told she was originally from Ukraine and was afflicted with a form of dwarfism.
Yeah, watching these videos, it's kind of disturbing because you really can see both angles. She could be a little person, or, well, again, there's no doubt she's an adult little person, or she could be a child. It's really hard to just say from the videos. That's kind of the eeriest thing about them. Although in these videos they're showing right now, she kind of looks more like a child. I will give them that.
Okay, at that moment, 6.
But questions about Natalia's age surfaced the first night they brought her home.
And by the way, I think this is important to point out in case you missed it, that there's no doubt she's afflicted with dwarfism, but there's just doubt if she's 6 years old. And that kind of makes sense because at first I thought they believed she was just a normal 6-year-old girl who didn't have dwarfism. And that was the craziest part because if that was the case, then there are moments where you can definitely tell she's a dwarf just based on her like bone structure. Because besides just being like shorter, I think most people do acknowledge dwarfs have what seems, I'm sure this isn't the correct medical term, but a different bone structure than average height people. So you can definitely, if she was only one or the other, it was not already decided that she could be both, she would definitely be a dwarf. But whatever. I mean, like I said, she can be both in this story. So, and she is both. So moving on.
Barnett was urgently called into the bathroom by his wife, who was bathing Natalia.
She's got this look on her face. She's white as a ghost. She's scared. And she just says, look.
Why do you have to talk about this like it's a horror story, man? I mean, I know that I do, man. I'm being a dick with this because I'm sure this, if she is an adult, this is a traumatizing thing, I'm sure. Or if not traumatizing, it's a disturbing thing. But some of the situation is just crazy. There's no choice but to laugh at some of it.
I think you have a 6-year-old in your house, and there are signs that she's already gone through puberty, which would make her much older than 6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That'd make her much older than 6 years old? I thought she'd just be barely past 6 years old, guy.
They say there was something else.
She's got a monthly cycle, and she's hiding it.
Yeah, I was going to say not to be disgusting or vulgar or whatever, but I feel like that would have been the quickest way to tell if this was true or fake or whatever. I mean, somehow like monitor her menstrual cycle or something if she has one. So I don't really know. And by the way, the video, if I remember correctly, doesn't really explain how or if they do or whatever, but yeah, that's the craziest part. I think that would be the easiest way to tell, but whatever.
And I'm stunned.
There was another red flag.
Technically, she is a Ukrainian adoptee. She's never spoken a word of it. She doesn't have a hint of an accent.
Hello.
Yeah, that is one of the things where you couldn't tell from that. Like, that was another thing where I've heard her talk before. Like I said, I don't know even a lot about the story in terms of what really happened, but I've heard her speak before. She doesn't have an accent at all, so was that not a disturbing part? Although, to be fair, when you're 6 years old, I guess maybe you're still kind of developing your voice or how you talk. Or maybe not really. I don't know. I don't remember if I still was when I was 6, but whatever.
Hello and happy Thanksgiving.
The family already had 3 sons. One son, Jake, is a math genius who was profiled on 60
This is a
Minutes
crazy
in
part.
2012.
This is a really crazy. So this family's been on TV before because the son was on 60 Minutes, I guess, for something he did, and there is footage of her. She was adopted by then in there, and yeah, I mean, just watching it again, doesn't matter at all, whatever. Assuming she was not like a dwarf. I mean, if it was just confirmed this was not a scam, she's clearly, a dwarf from how she's sitting and eating and all that. You can just tell in her hands and all that, but that's still, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazy that she was here. It's like when you find footage of, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like reminds me of those footage like Alfred Hitchcock showing up in his own movies,
In the segment, you can see Natalia sitting at the dinner table with the rest of the family.
She attempted to kill Christine twice.
Okay, this is getting crazy. I don't know what this is about, but she attempted to kill the mother, apparently. Like with a knife or with a gun or like inadvertently.
According to Barnett, Natalia allegedly tried to poison his wife with a household cleaning product, Pine Sol.
She had poured the Pine Sol in her coffee. She just says blatantly, plainly, no emotion, I'm trying to kill you. I want you dead.
Barnett.
Okay, that's a thing where I don't understand what the motive of the dwarf would be. That's the thing where I'm conflicted because on one hand, I mean, if that's true, well, there you go. I mean, case in point right there. But I don't know if that's something a crazy, like a 6-year-old would say as a joke, or if it's something an adult would say because, they're trying to kill her. But then at the same time, if I do kind of wonder, that sounds so absurd. I kind of want to, I mean, did that happen? And I mean, she denies it. So I don't know. That's one of the craziest parts.
Barnett says Natalia expressed a desire to stab the entire family in their sleep.
Whoa.
It was at that point that the Barnetts said they had enough.
Yeah, when they say expressed a desire, I kind of want to know, did she write a note saying it? She put a drawing on the refrigerator of her with a knife and all the family dead? Like, how exactly did she express that desire? And I feel like, I mean, I will say for the record, maybe this is obvious, but if your daughter is expressing wishes to kill you should probably take her to a psychiatrist.
They decided to move and start a new life without their adopted daughter. They packed up their lives and headed north of the border to Canada, but they left Natalia to fend for herself all alone at this apartment in Lafayette, Indiana.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest parts. So first of all, I guess they found it necessary to flee the country, and then they left the daughter in an apartment in Indiana. I mean, well, first of all, I mean, it's not like I guess you can't just give her back, you know? I mean, that's not how it works. Yeah. Hello, is this Ukraine? I'd like to ship one orphan back. This one's not working. Yes, I can hold. But anyway, yeah, you can't just, I don't know what their plan was here, and I didn't even know. So they got an apartment to put the daughter back in. That seems maybe like a bit of overkill. I don't know how you could do that. But also it makes me wonder, kind of, do they think at all, is there any possibility that this is real? That she is, in fact, 6 years old? Because if so, then, well, you just left your 6-year-old daughter, I mean, adopted daughter, but your daughter nonetheless, at a random apartment to fend for herself. I mean, that can count as attempted murder, man. Regardless of, you know, your relation to her. I mean, if she was 6 years old, you'd probably be charged for that. That timed up perfectly. I'm so glad I could ramble about random stuff for that long to where the music would end right at the perfect time.
The Barnetts paid a year's rent for Natalia. He says Natalia is capable of taking care of herself.
At least the kid didn't have to get a job.
In his opinion, she is an adult pretending to be a child. Barnett's lawyer, Terrence Kennard.
We have done a massive amount of research on this, looking at historical records, medical records, mental health records, and it is apparent that this person is an adult and always has been when she was in the care of the Barnetts.
The Barnetts face 2 counts of felony neglect. Charges that they say
that's what I was
the
thinking.
Point entirely.
Well, I mean, that is kind of, if you're going to leave your adopted child, or maybe not child, but an adopted member of your family in an apartment, that's kind of to be expected. But also, I mean, I don't know, like, you probably should have, the best way to handle this is probably go to the police, but this little person threatening to kill you and your wife and your whole family. But I guess they thought the easiest solution would be to spend, you know, thousands of dollars on rent for a year for this child and just leave her there. And also, it's kind of weird that did the family not express any, the children not express any sort of sadness that their sister is going to be gone, as far as they know, or they decided to explain to them, your sister, unfortunately, is not actually a child. Your sister is a grown woman who decided to try to kill the family because she has some sort of problem.
Do you have any doubts that Natalia is an adult? Absolutely not. There's no doubt whatsoever.
Well, all right, that's part one there. Shut up, Blondie. Now, moving on, Inside Edition did kind of a follow-up 2 years ago where they talked about this a bit more, this adoption story of Natalia Grace, as her name is. And I don't know. I don't really get what more could have been followed up on, because it seems there was nothing more that could have been followed up. Because I watched this too, and it really answered very few questions, for me at least. But whatever, let's take a look at this.
Now, a bizarre story, unlike any other. A family thought they were
it really is
adopting
unlike any
a
other.
6-year-old girl from Ukraine. But was she really a child? The family claims she was actually an adult who made their life a living hell. As Stephen Fabian reports, a new docu-series discovers the truth.
Yeah, when I said this was relevant again, this is kind of, there was a somewhat recent, and in fact, it was somewhat recent at the point where I think it only wrapped up a little while ago, a documentary series about this little girl and, well, you know, no pun intended, this little girl and her life with this family. So I guess there's a bit of a renewed interest. I don't know, but let's see what Inside Edition has for us this time.
little Natalia Grace was at the center of a bizarre
Yeah,
controversy.
they show another picture here. I cannot tell if she's a dwarf or a little girl. It's like impossible to tell. Or, a grown dwarf, and it's impossible to tell. It's just ridiculous.
That riveted America. She was adopted in 2010 by a family from Indiana who were told she was a 6-year-old Ukrainian orphan. But they say they discovered she was really an adult with dwarfism, just posing as a child.
By the way, great job on the name of the documentary series, guys. It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Thanks, guys. This is William Shakespeare levels of writing titling. I'm sure he'd be proud. I'm sure Dr. Seuss would be proud if he was here today.
They also said she was a violent sociopath.
We were all abused! I hate this.
Did you want?
Yeah, that's a bit funny that they say the girl's a violent sociopath, and they decided to cut to the dead. Going, we were all abused. I mean, maybe he was, but that's still an interesting edit there. Can we see that again?
She was a violent sociopath.
We were all abused! I hate this.
Did you want to hurt?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't know if that makes me an asshole or whatever. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry to this family because whatever happened, it's clearly a very traumatizing experience. But yeah, this is just that's kind of, in fact, it's not even an insult to the guy. It's an insult to the editors here. That was a great way to interloop the shots. That is not a word.
Natalia is the focus of a
There he
new
is, punching the
documentary
ground.
series, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, airing next week on the cable channel ID.
And the viewers will decide for themselves what the truth is, because frankly, my head was spinning with this story as I learned.
That's a great
more
look
and
for the
more.
legal
Natalia
analysis.
made
That's
in
the
2019
show's legal analysis. That's a great look for you. I don't really know what happened. I don't know. Who knows?
Her adoptive parents, Michael and Christine Barnett, abandoned her in an apartment and fled to Canada. They were charged with neglect of a dependent, but were exonerated.
Did it really take fleeing the country? Like, that's the thing. Did they flee the country? I mean, I said they figure that she'd know where they are if she didn't. Although it's fair, she probably wouldn't. I mean, if she's a 6-year-old, wouldn't that prove if she's a 6-year-old girl or not? Because if she was an adult, she could just follow them back, right? I don't know.
Michael Barnett told me they knew something was wrong with Natalia soon after adopting her.
She's got a monthly cycle, and she's hiding it. And I'm stunned. She had spent every waking day attempting to ruin everybody else's life in the house. She's threatening to kill us. She's trying to kill us.
But I also...
Well, to be fair, was it happening? I mean, again, not that it's not happening, but I mean, is it happening so much that it was becoming like a daily thing? I don't know. Were there no good times? That's all I'm asking. Maybe there weren't. I don't know. I mean, you don't remember, there were the good times when she was on 60 Minutes and ate the spaghetti, and there were the good times when my wife bathed her before she started to suspect she might be an adult. There were good times.
Also spoke to this couple, Vincent and Nicole DePaul. Natalia had stayed with them before she was adopted by the Barnetts.
Yeah, this is another thing. There's some more characters in this story, and these are two dwarfs who adopt another dwarf as well as Natalia. I guess they decided they wanted to kind of have a family of dwarfs, I guess. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I guess they have some say in this story, too.
They showed me documents indicating her birthday.
Date of birth, 9/4/2003.
Right.
According to this, she's 16
She's
years
16.
old today.
Exactly.
There are people out there who think she's 30.
That's ridiculous. I'd say that's ridiculous.
Natalia.
Yeah, well, okay. So I guess I mean, if those documents are real, then there it's done. She was the little girl, and the family kind of just dropped her off. But whatever. I mean, for some reason, that's not enough, I guess. Although when we get to the next clip, you're going to understand maybe why that wasn't enough.
Ended up with yet another family.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
An ordained minister. The producers of the docuseries say the truth about Natalia may be found in war-torn Ukraine.
She's a different person today, I think, from the one that's been portrayed.
Yeah, so I guess she's living with someone else now. My head is spinning, man. To quote that lady, my head is spinning. Well, anyway, the next clip we have, this is, again, a few years ago, so we're actually going back in time again, but I put this clip next because it's her with this new family they were talking about. She did an interview with none other than the king of trash TV, Dr. Phil. He decided to stick his hands into this and interview her directly, which I think was probably the smartest move anyway, to just talk to this girl. But again, and I will say it's plants some doubt in my mind just because she would have been 16, I believe, 17 by the time of this interview. But she still seems older than that. I don't know. But I guess, again, the ages like 16 to early 20s kind of blend together. I don't know. So maybe she was an adult, maybe she wasn't. I don't know. Here, let's listen to a little bit of the doctor's interview here.
They say that you scammed them, that you lied about your age and came over here and terrorized them.
It's not true at all.
And if that were true, it would have been exhibited with you. You haven't seen that.
Right. And we have other children. We have a grandson. She does nothing but loves her siblings and her nephew. She has never showed any signs of those things that they say she did.
So yeah, now she's crying a bit now, which is pretty, pretty sad. I mean, it kind of, again, maybe helps her case a bit that it's like there's some emotion as if she's just being lied about like that. And I do think, to be fair to these new parents, I mean, to give them credit, I feel like there are people who maybe would suspect them that they're in on this for publicity or whatever, and they think she's an adult, but they won't, they're going all, oh, well, no, she's not to get on Dr. Phil. I don't think that's the case. I don't know. They seem like nice people. I mean, obviously I'm probably not a great judge of character in any scenario, but that's just my takeaway.
She acts just like a big sister. She makes bottles for them. She gets their
helps
clothes
with
if
baths.
she needs to. She makes them
changes
lunch
diapers.
sometimes. Yes.
Everything that the next brother or sister would do for their siblings, she does.
Here's what America's asking themselves right now.
Okay.
Here's this obviously very nice couple, and they've got a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a newborn on the way. And they're moving.
I mean, not to be, no offense, but wait a minute, they have a grandchild and they got more children coming and a newborn. That seems a bit. All right, I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want with your life, but that seems a bit, I didn't know if you had grandchildren, you really would be able to have more children, but okay, I mean, some people have grandchildren young, I guess.
Moving in a child that somebody's saying she can look okay one minute and be psychotic the next. Were you at all concerned at the time that we could be putting the children that we have in jeopardy?
We were not.
I didn't get that impression because when I seen Natalia, I looked at her physical disability as well. Just her behavior in itself did not come off in any kind of manner. And I'm usually the one that's like, hold on, wait a minute. Let's be careful about, I'm usually that type of person. I did not get that at all from her.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I believe him. He's probably telling the truth here, but whatever. I doesn't, or at least the truth as he sees it. I couldn't speak to what's really going on here. Yeah.
Me and my husband adopted these kids. It's like, who would do it if you don't? Who will help if you don't? We've done this with other people as well.
Well, apparently, I don't know, whoever owns the apartment helped. I mean, if she paid rent to live there, but I'm assuming they helped with some stuff, which they kind of did, which we'll see in the next clip.
Natalia's not the first person we brought in our house like that.
You say you're 16. Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?
No. 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 I promise you I'm not.
But you understand the inconsistencies here, because if somebody asked me, can you drop an 8-year-old child off in an apartment for a year and come back and they'll be doing fine, I would say absolutely not.
Right.
But
yeah, that's kind of the biggest. I'm not gonna give a full verdict till the end here, but I think, frankly, that's the biggest thing for making me just say I believe her, because that is a bit strange that it happened. I mean, that's not really the real question here, which I'll get into later, but that's the biggest question I have at this moment. But I will give her credit also that she seems to have been very consistent in what she's saying in terms of how old she is. So I don't know if that speaks to anything at all.
But yet that's what we're expected to believe here, that without cash, credit cards, physical abilities to do certain things, that she just functioned fine in an apartment for a year. That's hard to believe.
We get that. But when she stayed in her first apartment, they were there more. It was the second apartment. I believe if we wouldn't have met her...
Oh, God, there's 2 apartments now.
It would have been terrible for her.
I felt like I was just kind of getting a grasp on what happened. Then you had to freaking throw a wrench in there and tell me how it's wrong. And yeah, the comments on these videos are really weird, because I think there are so many people who are just wondering what happened, like what's going on here. Like, I've never been so confused by a story before than this one. The medical field is so advanced, but they can't figure out someone's age. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. There's no, I mean, okay, I guess it's hard to, they wouldn't be exact, but they can't do any sort of age guessing, like DNA age guessing, or based on her bone or tooth or whatever. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you can guess a cat's age at the vet, I'm sure you can guess a person's age. I mean, take her to the vet. Maybe they'll understand what's going on here. Thank you. I solved this whole case. All right, stop. Now, anyway, besides she said she sometimes went to Barnott's room because she was scared of darkness. Then how did she live in an apartment by herself for a year? Is that really how you spell the last name? I mean, that's a good point, though. I mean, although I don't know the details on that, I guess. But anyway, they can find the age of a deceased body by a tooth alone, but they can't look at her teeth and find out how old this girl. Yeah, that's the thing I was wondering here. Before the Barnetts adopted her, another family had her for a short period of time and gave her up. They refused to say why, but I'd really like to hear what happened. I wonder if they noticed the age or psychological issues. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It seems like, to be fair, though, the people who are like commenting and are saying that, that I mean, it seems like the majority of opinions, they think that she is lying here. I don't know. I guess I can't say for sure. But I can't, like I said, I was kind of leaning towards I believe her, but I'm not making an official comment on it now. But yeah, it's very complicated here. But anyway, there's a part 2 to the this Dr. Phil video, and he asks a few more questions. Let's take a look at that.
You have had Natalia with you for how long?
Well, 6 years, but almost 7.
Now, you two met her on the neighbor's porch.
Yes. And my friend called me and was like, you need to come down here right away. So I go over there, and she said, she's telling me she's 22. Like, look at her. She's not 22. And I go, are you 22? She said, yeah. But you could tell that it was just like, yeah, because I was told,
That's
yeah.
what I'm supposed to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess the family told her to say that she's an adult when that people ask. I wouldn't do that if I mean, I guess there's a thing where, again, maybe it kind of speaks to her favor here that, when you're a little kid, you just kind of do whatever an adult tells you and don't think that much about it, especially your parents who are like authority figures. I don't know. I don't really know, unless she's completely blowing her cover and she wants to just say she's 22. I don't know.
So I go, okay. And she said, I have my own apartment. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, I do. And I'm like, show me. So she took me over to her house, and it was definitely her apartment. She had a bed in there. She had a TV. She had like some boxed food in her freezer. I was like, well, I have a couple kids at home. Come on down. You can play with them, talk with us, whatever. So she came to our house. And
well, she was claiming she was 22 at the time. Are you completely sure you want to let her around your children when you're not really sure about this? Whatever. I'm not going to say I'm not going to make any judgments on what they're saying here, I guess.
Hung out down there, and she never left. She's been with us ever since.
She never left. Well, I mean, it's for the same reason when you let a stray cat in your house. They're not going to leave. They see food, they see shelter, they see a litter box possibly. Like, they got a good thing going on over there. Why would they leave?
Is that like you to do something like that?
We do
when you
help.
just find this random person on the street and say,
yeah, usually I tell 22-year-olds to come into my house and just, take a load off, live there for a while, don't worry about getting a job. Yeah, it's a pretty common thing.
Come hang out with us.
Well, not typically. Yeah. We help a lot of people, but my motherly heart was like, there's no way she could take care of herself. I was like, I can't just leave her there.
Well, to be fair, she was kind of doing an okay job at that point. She was a little kid living on her own, and she was fine. She was kind of doing an okay job at that point.
How old were you at that time?
I was 8 years old, maybe almost 9.
So, at 8 years old, you're living alone in an apartment.
Yes.
And
I don't know why she kind of seemed kind of hesitant there, but whatever. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
Getting your own groceries.
I actually didn't even go grocery shopping. My landlord took me to it was like a gas station or something just to pick up a couple things.
Well, where'd you get your food?
The Barnetts, they had given me like food that they didn't really eat, like canned foods and stuff like that.
I mean, to be fair, I guess. Wait, so were they driving from Canada back to Indiana to give her food, or was they just gave her a bunch of food and just said, after this, you're on your own, good luck? This story, I thought I had a grasp on it, but now it's slipping away from me.
And how long had you been in the apartment when you went?
It wasn't that long. I think maybe about a month and a half.
Okay. Well, I have a granddaughter about that age, and I can't imagine her living in an apartment by herself. What did they say to you when they took you over there and dropped you off?
They just said, we're going to get you an apartment and we're going to Canada.
Did you say, I'm 8?
I didn't.
Well, I mean, they should have probably remembered that if they were good parents, but that's a bit of a shocking way to just put it. They're going to Canada. I mean, like that it requires no further explanation. Okay, I mean, I guess to be fair, and look, whether or not she is actually an adult, whether she's a child, I think we can all agree the parents probably should have handled this better. You know, I mean, if you think she's an adult, like report her to the authorities or something for fraud. You know, don't just drop her off in an apartment and flee the country.
I didn't know what to say. I didn't really know what was going on at first until like after.
Oh, you don't know they're going to Canada. They just explained it right to you. What are you, stupid?
Like, I was confused.
Were you scared?
I was. I didn't really like want to leave the apartment, but I had to go to school.
So you went to school?
Yes.
How far was the school?
Maybe about a block away from the house.
So this is a new school?
Yes.
An adult school.
Christine, she had signed me up right after I moved in, after that day.
And then when you met her, she was in her second apartment. And you stayed in that first apartment for a year at 8.
They don't really explain very well. An adult school, like college or something, community college. I don't really know what they meant by that, but I guess I would feel they shouldn't be too concerned about school when they're, you know, leaving a little girl in an apartment, but whatever.
Years old.
Yes.
It sounds like you were in a group home in the Ukraine. And you come here when you're 6. And here's what I know about children that are in group homes. They're almost always developmentally delayed. So if you come here from a group home at 6, best case, you're probably functioning at developmentally at 4 or 5. So you go into an apartment functioning at 6 or 7. A 6 or 7-year-old child living in an apartment alone for a year, that's just not believable to me. How does that happen?
I think that she groomed her before she did this to have her ready for this.
But in terms of activities of daily living, health, food, stove, working with an oven, a 6-year-old child just simply doesn't know how to do the activities of daily living for independent existence.
Right. Well, call me naive, but I don't know. I'm not saying it's necessarily the most believable, but I mean, I think it's possible she could have done the bare minimum for that year. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible. You know, I wouldn't write it off as impossible because when they say she was eating, I doubt she was, you know, making like lasagna or spaghetti, like complicated meal. Okay, spaghetti's not a complicated meal, but you know what I mean. I doubt she was cooking that much. She probably was just going to the gas station to buy freaking, you know, candy bars and like Hot Pockets and stuff, whatever you can get there. You know, it's not like she was living on a nutritious diet or whatever. You know, so I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily likely, but I feel it's possible. Like I'll tell you what, maybe there's a controversial take, but I'll tell you what. For like high schoolers out there, there's no one listening to the shows in high school. But I will say if anyone is, as someone with this kind of experience, when you move out for the first time, it is really not as hard as some people make it out to be. I mean, supporting yourself at first is not as hard as people would make it. I mean, it gets harder when you have bills to pay and you need a job and you have to go to the grocery store. But when you go to like college or something, because she didn't have the responsibility of having a job, they paid for the rent. Which really all she had to do was buy simple groceries and, you know, like food. I don't think it's necessarily impossible that she did this. Again, not likely, but not impossible.
Right. Well, I know in the apartment when we met her, she didn't use the stove. She cooked in the microwave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Did she teach you a routine?
She didn't really teach me like how to like take care of myself, but she did say like if someone asks you how old you are, you tell them that you're 22.
And who paid the bills?
Michael.
So
yeah, these guys. There was a huge flaw in this whole operation. Like, instead of just reporting her, you take out money to get another apartment, pay the bills. I mean, is this family rich or something? I mean, I guess their kid's a math whiz or whatever, and so he can get on 60 Minutes. But do they give you a check for that they were paying for all this for?
Well, all you had to do was go stay behind that closed door.
Okay, yeah, well, that's it. Well, yeah, I don't know. It didn't clear that much up. I mean, that was probably the biggest question, and that, like I said, that was the main thing where, again, I would have just believed that she was, she was a 6-year-old child, had it not been for the fact she lived in that apartment for that long. But again, what are the other comments here? Yeah, I asked her if she was 22. She said, yeah, but I didn't believe it. Yeah, okay. It's fun coming back to seeing all the comments that she was clearly lying about her age. She wasn't. Just goes to show, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Okay, I guess, yeah, some of the people here don't believe so. And I guess that seems to be the new opinion, that the new opinion most people have, that she was not a grown woman. Some pictures she looks like a kid, and others she looks like an adult. Absolutely disgusting how they neglected and furthermore vilified a 9-year-old disabled orphan child. And I hope Dr. Phil will apologize to her now. She wasn't lying. Yeah, so I guess most people now believe she was a child. And yeah, to be fair, I mean, if that's confirmed, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's really just, we all should apologize. Well, not me, I didn't know about this at the time, but everyone who was saying she was not that old should apologize at this point. If it's basically confirmed that she was a child, or at least that's how it seems like everyone is, acting. And okay, I guess some of the proof, now that I'm just looking at the comments, is that they apparently found her birth mother in Ukraine, and they proved she was born in 2003. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know if it's completely true. But, and also the other thing that was interesting is there was a comment I read that I'm going to read out because it looked a bit long. It said they read the series, and I do kind of want to just know what this is, or they watched the series rather. I just watched the 6-part series on Natalia Grace. I have to tell y'all, Christine was lying. She does deserve jail time. She abused Natalia severely, and her behavior is classic child acting out in the face of abuse. The Barnetts really messed that little girl up. And by the way, she was a little girl. Maybe a few years off, but a child still. And a child with special needs. I've done a 180-degree turn on my take on this story, just an FYI. She was not evil. She was abused and had a terrible childhood. Her current family loves her and has seen no bad behavior from Natalia. Well, first of all, why did everyone spell the last name wrong before? It's clearly just Barnett, it seems like. That's not a hard last name to spell, but everyone would seem to be screwing up the whole time. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know if the documentary has any explanation of the apartment thing, but whatever. That's what they claim. But yeah. So, oh, by the way, before I give like my verdict or whatever, right here I'm seeing from 10 years ago when it was initially came out. I guess someone posted the 60 minutes of when the kid was on TV. Their other kid was on TV, and the little girl was in the background. Let me guess what all the comments are here. Who was here after the Natalia Burnett case? All right, it's sad to see how things actually turn out for this young man. I guess a lot of them are people. I guess. Yeah, I guess a lot of people are upset. I guess something happened to the son as well. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, here's kind of a funny. I guess one comment's from back when people thought she was faking. Guess who's not the oldest anymore? All right, that's pretty funny. That's a good one, guys. Oh my God! I keep clicking on the applause. I mean, here we go. There we go. All right, I'm still figuring out the soundboard, guys. I'm sorry. I can't do much right now. I'm not the smartest. But anyway, I kind of hinted at it before, but I do at this point feel like I should probably say, what do I think about this whole thing? Natalia Grace. Do I think that this is true, what she's saying, in terms of is she actually an adult? Is she a child? What is the whole thing? Well, I'll tell you. In my opinion, I really don't understand completely. I gotta be honest here. Okay, look, all right, I gotta explain here, all right? This is what I mean. I would say, I feel like she was telling the truth, to be honest. I mean, because the main reason why I thought she looked like an adult before is in some of those pictures, she has a look where it looks like, you can just tell she's a dwarf from the photos, and that kind of makes it seem, when you have that in mind, you mentally, at least I do, say, oh, she might be about a few years older than a child would be, or how they would look at that age. So, I don't know. I guess that kind of explains the whole picture thing. But aside from just that, I would say if the birth mother thing is real, also that birth certificate they showed earlier, which no one really elaborated on, but I felt like, made sense in terms of it looked like, I mean, no one ever disputed that, would prove right away that she is, if not exactly 6, a child still. So I feel like if I had to guess, I'd say I believe her what she's saying. But it's just, I don't know, it's just hard to tell, especially because there are things kind of going against her that, again, it's not impossible, but the whole apartment thing was never, I feel like was never properly explained, frankly. But that's just how it is, I guess. Maybe some things won't be explained. And again, it's not impossible, but I feel like there's not really, I still don't really understand completely how she was able to live like that. And then also, I guess I don't really get why she doesn't have an accent or anything. But whatever, again, that's not impossible, I guess, but I guess no one's really disputing she was born in Ukraine, I don't think. I mean, maybe that's non-evidence. So I feel like it's most likely she's telling the truth and that she is a child, but I don't know, it's just impossible to say, at least for me. Or I guess maybe not impossible, but very unlikely. And again, this is not supposed to be some complete, massive, I know everything. This is just from what I've seen. I haven't seen the TV show. I probably will at some point because I'm kind of invested now. But yeah, that's how it is at the moment. I believe she is probably telling the truth, but I couldn't say for sure. But anyway, from her Wikipedia page, I said I'd look at it. I'm just skimming through it real quick. It did mention that there is going to they list her date of birth, and they don't really put any debate around it, as September 4th, 2003, which would make her, again, a child at the time. Not exactly 6 years old, but a child still. And that they were able to confirm her mother, who is in Ukraine. So that's some information they have, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I guess they don't know exactly all the details at this point. Although, again, the current family is saying that she doesn't behave badly around them. I don't think they're lying about that. I think they're telling the truth. So, I don't know. I hope we can find some sort of concrete evidence on this whole thing at some point. But will they? I mean, if they haven't by the time of the series, I doubt we ever completely will. But we'll move on now. We have time. That went on longer than I thought it would. But we have time for, I'd say, maybe one more short segment. And we'll do, just because I didn't have much else planned, I wanted to do one more of the commentary videos. But not about, a more not so serious subject, I guess. I wanted to do one on, I wanted to commentate on this old PSA I found from the 1950s. That's like 90% of the things I do commentaries on. But this one that was talking a little bit about good health practices at the time. It's kind of funny. I've seen it before, and it's pretty funny just to see, I guess, what people considered healthy back. I don't think there was too much that was, in doubt or whatever, but if I can just find, I didn't completely prepare for it, so let me just see if I can find it here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't remember the exact name, so I had to pull it up. So this is good health practices. This is from 1953 of all periods. I mean, not that it's that shocking or whatever, but whatever. I guess we're gonna take a look at this. Maybe it's something where we can learn, I guess, a few things about how to live our lives better. But anyway, I wanted to learn a little bit about just how to be more healthy. And this is Good Health Practices from 1953. All right, here we go. Good health practices. This is part 1, okay? Not all the information will be divulged in this part. This is eating, cleanliness, toilet, whatever that means, and rest and sleep. I know what it means. All right, so we see these two kids walking down a hill, I guess.
Did you ever think how much fun it is just to be alive when you feel healthy and well?
Speak for yourself.
Judy and Jim are well almost all of the time.
I don't know why they're wearing cowboy outfits in this shop, but whatever. I guess that was the style of the 50s.
And because they are healthy, they have fun almost all of the time, doing all kinds of things. Of course, anyone can have fun playing in the snow or at the beach.
Why are these kids just walking around with no parents all the time? It's kind of disturbing. It feels like an apocalyptic movie where the world's been nuked and these kids are just having to survive on their own.
But Judy and Jim have fun doing their work, too.
And the skies are still blue all the time for some reason. That was kind of a cool cut. I mean, you're not going to see it, obviously, but there's a cut between them walking on the beach and them walking near their house. And it cuts pretty well. It's like they change location and clothes just instantaneously. I don't know. I got to watch that again.
Their work, too, because they are healthy and well.
I'm sorry you couldn't be here to see it. Yeah. And they were carrying a log on the beach, and it cuts to them carrying a basket. That's real creative filmmaking right there. David Lynch himself couldn't have made something better.
Good eating practices help Judy and Jim stay healthy and well.
Yeah, all right.
Jim knows that his body must have food, just like an automobile must have
He's
gasoline.
real perceptive, that Jim.
Gasoline.
Oh, they're really obsessed with these cuts between one object in one place and the same object in a different place. They did like a toy car, and they cut to the real life version of that car driving. That's real creative.
Fuel that a car's
I don't know why I'm
engine
making fun of them. I mean, it actually kind of is, so good on them.
must have to keep running. The engine uses the fuel to make power, to move the car. To go fast on the highways.
Yeah, we see a car going quite slowly. That's a
To climb
representation of it
steep
going
hills.
fast, I guess.
Your engine needs
I don't know why you gotta
fuel
watch
too.
this shot of Jim
Food is
climbing
the
up a
fuel
mountain
that
in
you
his
must
underwear, but
have
whatever.
To get strength for play and for work.
I know I did not make
Your
that up. That
body
actually
uses
happened.
fuel all of the time, even when you're sleeping. Yes, brain work takes a great deal of fuel.
It's called smart work, idiot. This is why you don't eat enough food. Obviously, you don't know as much as I do.
Different
there's
foods
some vegetables
must
on a
go
plate.
together to make the best fuel for you.
Yep.
Mothers know how to put these foods together to make
Whoa! The fathers can't know. Come on. It's 2025 at this point. Let's be progressive here.
healthful meals. When the foods are together
Health. Don't you mean healthy meals, dumbass?
the right way, we call it a balanced meal. See if you can name the foods in the balanced meal that Judy serves to Jim.
Let's see. White lumps, piece of bread, I guess. Some very thinly sliced carrots, and a bunch of green splats all over the plate. I mean, it's the camera quality, but that's all I can get out of this. I don't know.
Young children don't have to know all the ways that food should go together.
Well, apparently they do, because there's no parents in this house. I'm assuming Judy's making the food here because, it's the 50s and Judy has to be in the kitchen making the food while Jim's out dragging a log in his underwear.
Your job is to learn good eating practices. First, eat slowly and chew thoroughly. Food makes the best fuel when it is eaten slowly and chewed thoroughly.
All right, big brother, don't tell me how to eat my food, all right? I'll eat it fast and I'm not chewing it at all, all right, like a duck.
Second, eat all of the food that is served to you.
All right, fatty.
Then you won't run out of fuel when your engine needs it most.
They left some peas on the plate there, apparently, so you don't follow your own rules now, do you?
Third, don't eat too many sweets. Sweets are party food for special times.
Oh, they're seriously eating apples and bananas for dessert. This is like a depressing. Like, I would not want to live anymore if this was my life. Like, you can't have one like little treat. You can't have like a candy bar or something. Come on, Judy. Like, what's wrong with you? Like this. This is why you can't. This is why Jim's seeing other women. All right.
Fruits always are a good dessert.
No, they're not.
And fruit helps you to follow good toilet practices.
I didn't want to think about that.
Here is another way in which you are like an auto.
What, cars take a dump sometimes?
There is always some waste to get rid of when the engine uses fuel.
Wait, seriously? Okay, I'm not a car guy, I guess, but wait, what is that? There's waste? They have to... I mean, this footage is showing a pipe going up a car's ass, I'm assuming, and then sucking something out. Oh, God, I don't want to think about this.
That's why cars have exhaust pipes.
Oh, that's what they meant. Oh, I'm an idiot.
There is always waste to get rid of when your engine uses the food you eat for
Oh,
fuel.
I don't want to think about Jim
Good toilet
taking a
practices
dump.
means getting rid of the waste at the right times in the right way.
I love the way these 50s toilets are shaped. They look so weird. All the tubes just all up and about, and it's all fat at the base. God, let's bring that design back.
It's a very important practice to wash your hands each time after going to the toilet.
It's not like I'm handling my crap, all right? Come on, don't tell me what to do.
Jim and Judy go to the toilet after breakfast each morning.
Oh, thanks for telling me that. That was really essential information.
Before going to bed each night. You should follow the practice of going at regular times like this.
Yeah, oh, top of the hour, gotta go take a piss again. It's the third time today.
But of course, you should go at other times, too. Always go to the toilet when you feel like going. Don't be bashful or silly about toilet habits.
You know, you're saying that, but you don't even just say it like it is, like taking a dump, taking a crap, you know. Instead, you just say going to the toilet.
Remember, an engine can't run when the exhaust is stopped up.
Yeah. What does that even mean? Like when there's a turd wedged in your asshole, you can't run? Okay, don't tell me how to live my life, all right?
Foods help to keep you from getting stopped up. It's a good toilet habit to eat plenty of fruits, green vegetables, hot cereals.
Hot cereal as opposed to what, cold cereal?
And dark bread. They all help you stay clean inside.
What the hell is hot cereal anyway? You put it in the microwave or something?
Staying clean inside
All right, here's the
and
bathtub.
outside is a part of being healthy.
I know, we're really going to have to watch
staying
these kids take a
clean
bath.
is another important health practice.
Look at this one. I can't tell if it's Judy or Jimmy. They're wearing a yellow bathrobe, got a shower cap. Who dresses up to go take a bath? Come on.
Judy and Jim bathe before breakfast each morning on school days.
Before or after
Some
they're taking the
people
dump, or
bathe before
during.
bedtime each night. It isn't so important.
I still
just
can't tell
when
that's a
you
boy or a
bathe,
girl. I'm sorry.
but washing all over once a day is
okay, it's a girl,
fine
I guess.
practice for good health. Keep your hair clean. Long hair like Judy's needs extra washing and brushing to be clean and glossy.
It was really disturbing. This you see her like in the mirror, like combing her hair, and all, that's not that disturbing for her. She's wearing clothes and all that, but you see her in the mirror, like combing her hair, and all. In the background is this black void behind her. Like, geez, that's like horror movies level stuff, you know?
In clean clothes, fresh as a daisy, Judy is ready for school. Jim likes a shower better than a bath.
That's essential
Either
information.
one is fine, so long as you use plenty of soap and plenty of hot water and plenty of elbow grease.
This is too complicated. I'm not taking a bath or a shower
Jim
anymore.
does a good job of washing his hair, too.
Well, he's got barely any
Spick and
hair, so.
span in his clean clothes, Jim is ready for morning inspection.
Morning inspection. What is this, Nazi Germany?
Do you think Jim will pass inspection? Well, let's see. Neck clean? Yes, indeed. Ears?
Does he really have to
No
look?
dirt
Does
there.
Mom really have to look behind his ears and all that, and like inspect him?
Now, what about those hands? Clean as a whistle. Jim follows good
I
practice
give Jim this. He has good like George Costanza hands. You know, he could be a hand model one day when he grows up.
in keeping his hands clean.
He's not doing well at keeping his hands clean. He's digging them in the dirt, playing with jacks or something.
Hands will get dirty. So remember,
Here's a
after
shot of
playing
him handling what looks like a giant turd.
games, after playing with animals, and
after
always
playing with
after going to
yourself,
the
I mean,
toilet,
going to the toilet.
wash your hands with plenty of soap and hot water. Wash your hands before handling food. Before setting the table. And especially before brushing your teeth.
I'm not doing that. Is that
before
that's
rules
considered
are
like a good hand habit? I don't really know. I never wash my hands before brushing my teeth. I don't think my parents ever told me to do that anyway, you know?
Very important. Keep your fingernails short and clean. When dirt gets under your nails, even soap and water can't wash it out. It takes some digging to get nails as clean as Jim's.
Yeah, all that effort for nothing. I can't see his nails at all.
Now, who is this? A football player.
No, it's Jim living out a fantasy he will never have in real life.
And who is this topsy-turvy person? Why, it's Judy having fun at the beach. Yes, the beach is a wonderful place to have
The kids have to wear underwear to go to the beach. Could they not get some swim trunks out here?
fun if you are careful to guard against sunburn and if you don't get too tired.
That's really important,
You
huh?
know, even a football player needs to rest once in a while.
Yeah, usually the football players take a nap in the middle of the field.
When you are tired, you're like a toy car with its spring run down.
It seems like we're tired. It seems like we're like a car all the time.
Rest is what winds the spring so you will be ready to run again. It looks like Jim's spring is wound up already.
All right. All right,
Looks
Jim's
like
getting up
Jim's
now, I
all
guess.
ready to run again.
Well, not
There,
really. He
you
runs
see?
like a wimp.
Jim is not tired now. But good rest practices mean resting when you should rest, not just when you feel tired.
How are you supposed to rest when you don't feel tired? You going to explain that to me?
On vacation days, when they're playing hard, Judy and Jim take a rest after lunch. They take it easy for at least an hour to give their food a chance to digest.
Oh, geez, at least an hour? They just sit around doing... This is before we had the internet. There was nothing to do when you were resting back then.
Ready to play again until it's time to go home. Getting plenty of sleep is the most important rest practice. Young people need much more sleep than grown-ups.
I don't know. I mean, have you seen grown-ups? I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I hated going to sleep. Now it's like that's the only thing I look forward to during the day anymore.
And remember, other health practices when you get ready for bed. Going
Yes,
to the
don't forget
toilet
your
to
nightly
stay clean
dump.
inside, washing with soap and water to stay clean outside, and brushing your teeth to keep them clean are good health practices to follow every night at bedtime.
Yeah, maybe it would have been a good idea to talk a little bit more about brushing your teeth, a health practice that's important, instead of mentioning take a dump 6 times a day.
Being clean, outside and in, helps you to get a good sleep. Your body rests better when it is clean.
Oh, yeah, you have scientific evidence to back that up, Einstein?
A healthful, balanced supper helps you get a good sleep, too. And while you sleep, your body will use the food to...
Whoa. Jim's going to sleep and his sister just kissed him. Ugh, that's disgusting, man. Are they brother and sister? Or are they a married couple? They never really go over. Are they two dwarfs, too, who are married and living in an apartment somewhere after their family dumped them off?
Build strength for another day. You see, health practices go together to build strong bodies for work and for play. There are so many beautiful and interesting things in the world to see and to do.
Which you will never have time to see or do when you're too busy on the John half the time.
Good health practices help you to happy days all of your life.
Yeah. And bad health practices might end up in you, I don't know, enjoying a candy bar once in your life. All right, well, that was good health practices, and I guess after seeing it, my number one takeaway is I understand why the life expectancy then was, 36? I mean, to be fair, it wasn't all, like, bad information or anything, you know? There were some interesting things they talked about that I guess people could keep in mind, but I don't know. I mean, they didn't need to fixate on how I go to the bathroom so much. I'll put it that way, you know? It wasn't exactly necessary. But, you know, I mean, for what it is, it could have been worse, I guess, you know? It was whatever. I mean, you know, they didn't at least tell the kids to light up with a cigarette at least 3 times a day to keep that youthful glow. You know, so I guess, I don't know, it could have been a lot worse. I'm sure there was a health practice short out there like that. So, whatever. For what it's worth, you know, good effort, I guess. And also, it's kind of disturbing how Judy has to take on all the household responsibilities in this family. You don't really see the parents of these kids ever, but whatever. I mean, they exist, I guess. And that kind of makes it worse that they exist and they're making Judy make sure her brother takes his monthly dump. But whatever, that's the good health practice. But really, that's about the show today. We did run a bit long today, and so I did want to say thanks for listening. It was just me, so I know some people probably wouldn't like that as much as to when we have all the boys here. But next week, maybe we will. I'm planning to have an interview next week, actually. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but that's the plan right at the moment, at least. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you again next week. Goodbye.